Hello, ladies. Hello from Zagreb. Nice to have you here today. Nice to meet you, and thank you for sharing your time with me. Shortly, just to introduce myself, I'm Anna. I work as a product marketing manager in Infobip, and Infobip is a global leader in communication, omni-channel communication. And why I'm here today practically is that besides I'm already 8 years in IT industry, last year I became part of Women Tech Network. And this community really brought me a lot of joy. So today I want to bring something back to the community and share what I learned when it comes to habits. Since I'm curious about habits, and you will soon know and learn why, I am currently in the process of becoming a certified habit coach. So habits really improved the quality of my life, and today I would like to share with you how you can have it as well. My goals for today are pretty straightforward, practically to make you aware of why are habits important, to inspire you to do change, and to equip you to practically be able to start the change on your own. I have a lot to share, so I'm not very sure that we will have time in the Q&A session, but feel free to share your questions in the chat. And in the meantime, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I will be more than happy to share some of my experience and to help you along the way. Okay, ready? So it's June, meaning that probably we told this big lie many times during this year and many times during our lives. I can just tell I did. I tried to start on Mondays, many Mondays, but usually there were always a lot of excuses that wouldn't give me the chance to really start on that Monday. And I believe you can relate. And the reason why we fail with starting on Monday is because even though we really have these clear intentions, yes, today I will eat healthy, or yes, today I will say no to all these requests around me. But in the reality, there is we are experiencing the gap between our true intention and the action we need to take. And why is this so? Because usually, you always do what you usually do, and then you as well always do something that it's easy, and you have this automatic behavior. So what is causing this gap between intention and action, and practically not helping us to change, is the autopilot. So autopilot is something we do automatically, the part of behavior we do not even thinking about it. And remember how many times you ask yourself, did I lock the door, and yeah, then you were on the autopilot. So why are we talking about the autopilot? Because a lot of our time is spent unconscious. So question for you. Do you maybe can have any guesses about how, what percentage of our time is spent unconscious? Feel free to write in the chat. Any guesses? So not to leave you questioning, it's 40% of our time. So 40% of our time is spent unconscious, and this brings the importance of the habits. Why? Because habits are this part of this unconscious. Habits are something we do automatically. And in the upcoming slides, I will just give you a brief introduction about the theory of habits and what I practically learned about habits along the way through my own experience, because my learning curve was, from experience to the theory. And I would like to share this today with you. Okay, so I already entered into the topic. So habits are something we do when we are on our autopilot, something that it's unconscious. So we can call them to be our unconscious routines. It's something that we learn, something we do repeatedly and not even thinking about it. And if you wonder why it's so, I like the expressions and to think about habits like shortcuts, because, you know, our brain really needs to make a lot of decisions during the day. So habits are here to help our brain to automate a couple of decisions, some of our behaviors, so it can free up some brain power for other important challenges, like making very conscious decisions. You never think about, you know, how can I drink this glass of water, because it's something you do automatically, something you know how to do. So okay, moving on, to understand habits, it's important to understand how do practically habits work. So usually this is a very easy example. I believe you all, after waking up in the morning, you enter first in your bathroom. So when you see the toothbrush, you do your routine, and then you, as a reward, get nice smile, a fresh breath, and so on. So when we think about habits, practically it's when you see or experience something, some kind of cue, some kind of trigger, then you do some kind of behavior or routine in order to get some kind of reward. And this is how things look like. So cue or a trigger, then a routine, and then a reward. And when we talk about cues, these are practically triggers. They can be internal, like some kind of feeling, or external, like you see here, a glass of water, so it reminds you to practically drink it. Then routine is the usual behavior, you know, what we usually do, and this is the part of, you know, automatism. And then the reward is that usually feeling what we get after going through this loop. And why it's called loop? Because we repeat it, and if you want to build a habit, then you need to pass through this loop several times to make it automatically. So during our days, we have a lot of different habit loops. For example, you can sometimes feel stress during the workday, something triggers you, and then what you do your routine of going into the kitchen, and then you find something sweet to make this bitter feeling less bitter. So this is one of the example of habit loops. I have to admit it's one of mine habit loops, but there are some others that maybe bring more value. So you set some kind of alarm that reminds you it's time to take your workout routine, and then after you're done, you feel refreshed, you feel happy, you feel rewarded because you invested some time in yourself. So if we want to make a change in our habits, we need to really understand the habit loop. And as we speak about making change in our behavior, that means this change is hard, but it's doable. And since I really learned it the hard way, I would like to share some of my findings with you. And my suggestion to you would be not to wait that life hits you, to be rather proactive and to start changing your habits now in order to, you know, make them serve you. So what happened to me? My change started like 3 years ago. So before 2018, I was having pretty different habit loops, pretty different lifestyle, not so healthy, and not being in a good shape, but that didn't stop me to spend my vacation on skiing. And the very first day, this vacation really got a different turning point. So I ended up with broken ligaments. I ended up on a surgery. I ended up in a hospital, and there was no time for starting on Monday. I really needed to start the change now. Fast forward to 66 days later, I really learned how to walk again, and then finally, luckily, I was able to walk again. But the overall process really changed me. And my biggest takeaway from this period was that every day matters. I would say we all, during the day, we underestimate the power of small things we do daily, like drinking this glass of water now and a bit later and so on. But really, every day matters, because each and every day during my recovery, I really managed to feel better and better and better. And then from being completely broken to being able to walk again, it was just a sum of all those small moments, of all those small days. So how things usually go, one thing led to another. I needed to start to work out in order to recover. So when I started to work out, then I started to wake up earlier. Then I started to prepare my meals. And then I decided that I will start my weight loss journey and to track the food. Then I started to include as well the hydration, because I noticed if I drink much, my weight loss journey it's faster. And 2020 happened, so I started finally to have some hobbies. So I started to microblog on LinkedIn, tried a bit of gardening, finally discovered that I really can meditate. And what's my biggest win lately is that I managed to quit smoking, and I was thinking, wow, this is not possible. So it is. And when I started to become a non-smoker, I started to walk more. And then, when you not spend your money on cigarettes, then you have some money aside. And then you decide, to be more, to invest your time more meaningful. So I started as well a social media detox, and that gave me much more time to really start to read, to go back to the books, because I really lost that habit along the way. So yeah, definitely one good habit can really motivate you to different changes. But what is even more important is that practically it brings you results. And in general, I really, from couch potato, became somebody who is in a good shape and who prioritize workout. And I do it in the morning. That was like completely impossible for me. Then in general, I really managed to lose 25 kilograms, quitting smoking. It changed me. So a lot of all these habits you've seen on the previous slide really made me become a different person. And I'm mostly proud on this part of becoming a non-smoker, because that was really actually, it's not so hard as you think, but it was a battle. So what I want to share with you is practically that habits will bring you to one big change, and this change is the new identity. So you are definitely, thanks to the habits, becoming a newer person. So habits will help you bridge this gap between your intention to change and actually do this change. And if you wonder what time investment is required, so practically usually you will hear like 21 days to make a habit. Some of the researches are talking about 66 days, and they're the not so optimistic ones. And the real answer is practically depends. It's very individual. So these are just the estimations. Your path can be slightly different, but the key is in repetition. If you do more reps of one habit loop in a day, you will get faster to making this habit the automatic behavior. So my magic formula after going through all of that is very simple. So small steps, really start small and don't underestimate each and every day. Be consistent, because this will help you, continue along the way and give you discipline. So magic formula is very, very simple, and all the change is very, very doable. I would like to share some of tips and tricks I learned along the way. And at the end, we have some homework for you as well. So definitely starting is not hard. You can start immediately now. But what it makes hard is, continue along the way and practically not give up. How to start to think about your habits or to change something is, you need to be aware. aware of the moment you are, aware of your current habits, then definitely make a decision to change. After decision, it has to follow up with an action, and then consistency, 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 and then your habit becomes automatically. And definitely how to start. This is something you can do today, you can do it now. So meet your autopilot. What is your usual habit loop? What do you do when you're stressed, when you're tired, when you're hungry? You need to know what are your triggers, what do you do then, and how do you feel later on. So do you, after you get some email, does it make you stressed and then you go to eat, as we seen in the example, or there are some other loops you are following? Secondly, decision. This is maybe even the most important part. And here I would like to point out that you should focus on your identity, who you want to become. Not I will quit smoking, but I will become a non-smoker, or not to focus on I will lose 10 kilograms. Focus rather on I will maintain a healthy lifestyle, and I will maintain a healthy diet. I will nourish my body with a quality food, So I will be someone who is living healthy. So this is something you should start to think about from the identity perspective, like who you want to become. And definitely why. What is the driver inside of you? Why you want to do this change? Secondly, set yourself for success. So put reminders, plan your activities, plan everything to support you to move towards your goal of changing habits. And definitely start small, because you cannot now change everything you do, really small steps. I managed to walk again because I did each and every day some of the small steps, and definitely make it easy. What we often do mistakes is that we want to change everything now. No, change a small thing today and do it tomorrow and the day after, and it should be really, really easy, so to boost your motivation and to be doable. Secondly, consistency. So tracking progress is something that will keep you motivated, that will show you how far you come. And definitely it's good to have support. Support can be mobile application, support can be your best friend, support can be your diary. It's up to you, but you will definitely need it. And I see the question, how to handle setbacks. So one of the answer can be, remember your past successes. So there will be rainy days, but on the rainy days, it's good to have a reminder on the shiny days, because, it's not very linear road. It's very different graph of, rainy days and shiny days. So definitely it's good to remember your past successes. And celebrate milestones. So decide about what kind of milestone you would like to achieve, and then definitely make a celebration that will help you to boost your motivation. And something for you for your homework. I would really like that you have some value from this session. So I would like to, you can take a picture of this slide. I would like you to start to think about, who you want to become. Like in July, maybe somebody who drinks more water, maybe somebody who has some morning routine, or is exercising once per week, starting small, remember? So then after thinking about what kind of person you would like to become, then the second question you should ask yourself would be, what kind of habits does this new person, new version of you has? And then you can pick one habit and try to practically work on it and develop a strategy how you will, what kind of loop you will be having, and how you will set yourself for success to build this habit, and how to motivate yourself during the time not to give up. And I wanted to share some of the tiny ideas for starting now. So as we have been talking about, to start from the identity perspective, to start to think who you want to become actually. So here are just some of ideas what you can do practically today, now, immediately. So if you want to be healthy, you can eat an apple. If you want to be hydrated, drink a glass of water. Something you can do in the afternoon or after in the evening. If you want to become a reader, this is something I'm working on currently, then you can read just 1 page per day. You can even read 1 paragraph per day. Remember of the starting small, consistency and discipline. If you would like to start saving, just put a coin aside. If you would like to start exercising, you can stretch your arms right now. This is as well some starting point. And yes, if you would like to build a discipline, this is my favorite. You should start to make your bed every day. So what I would like to sum up, changes are possible and doable, but to be able to make a change, you need to change something you do daily. So small steps, consistency, and if you need the discipline, you can start to build your discipline with making your bed early in the morning with that kind of habit. I would like to ask you, before we conclude the session, um, for your key takeaways of today's session. Can you please maybe write in the chat what would be your key takeaway from today, so we can exchange our takeaways and practically wrap up this session together. Super, Doreen, start with small steps. I see a question from Jana. How do you prevent demotivation when you mess up with your habit streak? I think it's the individual thing that everyone of us should decide, or you know yourself best. For me, it's always good to I like to track progress. So then I start with a clean slate, like setting myself in the mood like I'm starting today, because you can start now. You don't have to wait for the Monday. Practically starting like from the empty page again, like nothing happens. And of course you need to forgive yourselves, but mistakes are as well part of the road, and in general you just start again. That's the easiest part. Super. I see a lot of key takeaways. Tiny changes are very effective. Think what you want to be. Consistency is the key. Start now and start small. Who do you want to become? Every day matters. Wow. Thank you, ladies. Track progress. Yeah. Super. I must say, I really enjoyed the session, and my intention today was to share with you my story, to share my example, and really to share with you that changes are possible, even though we think it's hard. And especially if you manage to give yourself practically a chance to start small, not to be hard on yourself, because habits are really important, and they are the ones who are making difference about who we are today and who we can be tomorrow. So this is something with what I would like to conclude this session. Thank you a lot for your time. Thank you a lot for joining, for being here. My contacts are on the slide, and I will be more than happy to connect with you on LinkedIn, and to continue the the discussion about habits, and as well to have some of your successes in my inbox. And that's it, ladies. Enjoy your day. Thank you for being here, and it was a pleasure to be your host for today. Thank you.